always does, don't it? That's the fastest she's moved all day.
He's on military time.
What minute early?
He's always early, if not.
Later, people are happy and healthy.
And a good Saturday morning to all you folks listening in over the airwaves on WPAQ on 740 on your AM dial. Welcome also as we got a great theater audience here this first Saturday in November. I really cannot believe that. Time is passing by so fast. And then welcome also to the folks watching on our YouTube channel. Welcome. And we got a great show planned for today. Always a treat when these folks are here. One of the premier old-time bands here from now right here in Mount Airy. Help me make welcome to the stage for part one of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round, the Slate Mountain Ramblers.
everyone out this morning. Thank you for coming in out of the cold. And for all of you listening on the radio, we'll give you another dance number here. A little bit Ain't Gonna Work Tomorrow.
We've had such a great time for them last two. Go ahead and play us two more tunes before we take a break.
All right, thank you, Jenny. I'll take just a second to introduce everybody to you. Helping us out on the guitar, Frosty had to work, so, you know, we had to call the retired people. Helping us out on the guitar from Stewart, Virginia, Mr. Johnny Joyce. Playing the fiddle here in the middle is my dad, Mr. Richard Bowman. Back behind playing the bass, my mom, Barbara Bowman. And my name is Marcia Todd. Thank y'all again for being here. We want to be sure to mention where we'll be in the next little bit. Next weekend, we'll be down at Rockingham at Eden, North Carolina. They have a big fiddlers convention and kind of some special music, so we'll be down there for that little part along with Jeff Little. I think he'll be down there. And then something big coming up in November, November the 15th. It's a Friday night, part of the Surrey Old Time Fiddlers Convention. They're going to have a dance this year, kind of mid-winter, mid-season dance. It'll be down at Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. Just go to the end of Main Street, and it's down there on the right. It's for the Pilot, it's called the Pilot Center for Surrey Community College. That will be November the 15th, a Friday night. It will be a square dance and a dance. And it will be us, the Slate Mountain Ramblers, along with Gap Civil. And that starts at 6:30. So come be with us on that Friday.
All right, we're going to do a little bit of Lost John. We're going to send this tune up Willis Gap Way to Carlene. And we'll just, she likes this tune pretty good, so we'll send it up to Carlene Kane.
first one here, a little bit of Kitty Clyde.
Saturday morning merry-go-round. Right now we need to hear a word from our sponsor of this portion of today's show. That's Price Power Equipment over in Elkin, North Carolina. So we'll hear a good word from those fine folks, and we'll be back with more music coming up here on the Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
Well, if the lady, they might not be forward.
I just play it to the end.
Get your G bill, and we'll do, well, I got you, then play it.
Thank you so much, Bob King. Hope you're doing good this beautiful November morning. It is cool outside, but it's a beautiful day. And if you're in and around downtown Mountain area, be sure to stop and see us here at the Earl Theater, home of the Old Time Music Heritage Hall. Right now, back to more good old-time music from the Slate Mountain Ramblers.
Thank you, Jenny. We'll slow it down here and do you a two-step number. You want to always remember Mr. Clive Johnson when we play here. For those of you in the theater, it's the fourth picture there on your right. He was the host of the merry-go-round here for about 44 or 45 years. And the last 8 years of his life, he was our guitar player and friend, but family member as well. And Clyde did a lot of old-time country songs And that's what he called them, old time country songs. But we always want to remember him. It passed away in 2007. It doesn't seem like it should be that long ago, but I guess time don't wait for anyone. But this is one we always think of him on. It's Your Cheating Heart. While we're hearing G chord, I guess Daddy's feeling a little feisty this morning. He must have had a high-test Mountain Dew for breakfast. Wants to do a little bit of the Sunny Home in Dixie. We're going to be sure and send the whole program out while he finishes tuning down to Mr. Jordan Nance. Jordan, hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope we get to see you soon.
It's so funny because he just texted me. So I'll read what he says. He wanted, Joyce, good grief, Joy said Jordan is a happy camper listening to the Slate Mountain Ramblers, and they are hoping to see y'all next Saturday. And that is the Museum and Archives of Rockingham County, what they're having there in the old courthouse in Wentworth. So they are hoping to see y'all then. So it's funny, we were...
Great minds think alike, Joy. What can we say? Yeah. Well, good. We hadn't got to see Jordan in a little while, so we'll be looking forward to that. So Jordan will send the whole program down to you, buddy. Here's a little bit of the Sunny Home in Dixie.
break, and then we'll have time to do 2 before we break for the weather. That be okay with y'all? We'll take a real quick break and be right back with more music here on the Saturday morning merry-go-round.
Everybody got some water like
Hey, Nayland, tell Kim what time we're doing this morning. I'll be glad to text you a picture. Oh, he has such a memory.
Mine hadn't showed up yet, so it's just,
Thank you so much, Bob, and you just tuning in or just joining us. You're listening to the outstanding old-time sounds of the Slate Mountain Ramblers. We'd like to remind you that you can watch this program each and every week, Lord willing, on our YouTube channel. You can just Google or search WPAQ Radio, and also there's a link on our Facebook page and our website as well. We've got time for probably 2 more, Marcia, and then we'll break away for the weather forecast.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. We'll do a little bit of Mississippi Cider for you. you. What you want to play now? All right.
Mention of this, be sure and stick around at 12 o'clock and we'll have another hour and a half of music with a Highlander string band. And they've made a long journey this morning. I know it takes them several hours to get here, so we're looking forward to that as well. And right now we need to take a quick look at the weather forecast, and we'll be back with more music from the Slate Mountain Ramblers on the Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
Mountain areas experiencing widespread tomorrow, 15 degrees. When you get the northwest wind moving through, and that's 31.
Glad to have you.
Sam, where's y'all been? I've been missing y'all.
Well, I best not scare you too
Yeah, I got that first part. It was Chad and that fiddle player that died, and Bill Williams, when they used to play his music. Hey. What you doing?
Thank you so much, Bob, and we got time to do several tunes, probably up at least until the quarter hour for 15 minutes or so uninterrupted. So right now, back to more music with the Slate Mountain Ramblers. Welcome back to the stage.
All right, thank you.
Walking in the park.
All right, we'll do another one here. Good dance number. A little bit of Sugar Hill. Again, don't y'all forget about November 15th. It's a Friday evening. We'll be down at the Pilot Mountain Pilot Center. It's just go right down Main Street to Pilot Mountain down there on the right for the Surrey Old Time Fiddlers Dance. It'll be from 6:30 to 10:30, I believe. It'll be us and the Gap Civil Band from Sparta. So it'll be a good dancing time, so you all come out and be with us. Slow it down here. Give you a two-step number. We want to be sure and send the program over to Cana, Virginia, to B&B Produce. Go there for all your local produce needs. And Huckins Galore and mums and everything else. Fruit baskets, Christmas time's coming. Go get your fruit basket. They make a really nice ham and pinto bean basket. But go on up there and get Eddie and Nita, they'll fix you right up. And Gary, yeah, Daddy likes them. So go on up there and get them, but we'll send it out to B&B Produce, and I guess we'll send it to old Raymond and Jeffrey too. We kind of like them, we just don't want them to know all that. But we'll send it to all of them, a little bit of Annie Laurie. All right, thank you. We'll do this next one here. Then we'll do this one for Johnny's better half.
She's on March 1, I guess.
Yeah, Johnny and I have to go play outside after a while, right when we leave here, so she was smart. I think she stayed at home. But this is one of her favorite things. Brenda, honey, this is for you. A little bit of the hangman drill.
mighty fine dancing out there, and we'll be back with more music from the Slate Mountain Ramblers right after this.
What more could you ask for? Bathroom favors.
Thank you so much, Bob, and it looks like we've got probably 12 minutes, so time enough to do at least 3 tunes, I think. Have made an outstanding job. Always love to hear the Slate Mountain Ramblers. And y'all all come out to the dance on the, is that the 15th, right? Friday night, the 15th of November, so that's 2 weeks from yesterday. And I want to see all of you folks out there as well at the Pilot Center. I'd like to support that event, and I know it'll be fun. There's not a lot of opportunities to square dance, so looking forward to that. You gonna be calling Barbara? And Barbara's gonna be calling. She's a great dance caller, so be sure and mark your calendars for that. Right now, back to more music here on the Saturday morning merry-go-round.
All right, thank you, Jenny. I'm gonna be sure and thank all you all for coming out today, getting out in the cold and coming out. Hoey and Coywood. I got that all messed up. I haven't been drinking this morning, I don't think. Coy and Haywood, thank y'all for coming out. That's some of Daddy's kin people right there, his cousins. So they're good to follow us and come out, so we sure thank y'all for coming, and Kim for getting them here. And Alton and Brenda always come. Brenda's followed us around since probably before I was around. But they're good to come. They like chilly winds, but we're in the wrong court, so. And you know how Daddy is. He might not would have played it anyway. He's got that tendency once in a while, but thank you all for coming. And we'll send it over the big pond, over to England. We've got some friends that are like family over there to listen, the Johnsons and the Henleys, so we'll get to see all them pretty soon. They'll be on their way back over. A little bit of Ebenezer for you. winner, the best sound man and popcorn maker around. A little bit of Cumberland Gap for you. Thank you so much. Again, thank y'all for coming out. I think we got time for either one long one or two short ones. Which one you want, Pa? We better just play one. I know how he gets sometimes. So we'll close out with a little bit of the Surrey County National Anthem. For those of you who aren't from around here, these people on the wall have kind of made this music what it's known for today, and a lot of people come here, and this tune is always associated with it.
Yeah, there's always something to say about those folks. I learned to play from all of the people you see here on the wall, except Fred Cochran. I never was around him in person, but I got to play some of his tunes that had been recorded. But all the other people that you see there, I did learn tunes from and was around. And yeah, part of them was members of the Slate Mountain Ramblers at one time or another. They was fun people to be around. And I've been playing, I guess, about 46 or 7 years, and I play now just like I played when I first started. So I've heard that practice, makes you better. It never did do me that way. I play the same now as I did when I started.
We have a saying, it's as good as it's going to get. Now here's a little bit of Sally Ann for you. Thank y'all again.
Ramblers. Don't go anywhere, folks, although you folks in the theater got permission to go out and get you some popcorn. And we'll be right back after the 12 o'clock news with another hour and a half of music on today's program, featuring Phyllis Gaskins and all of the Highlander String Band. This is the voice of the Blue Ridge here in Mount Airy, North Carolina, AM 740 WPAQ. Stand by for national news.
Good job. Thank you. Thanks very much.
No, you cut her up.
I used to put all kinds of back. Remember Jimmy had that's when my mother
Thank y'all so much.
y'all did great.
Thanks, appreciate it.
If I don't see you before, I'll see you on the 15th.
Right, but yes, she was on the bar stool, she got to be up there with my car, and he was looking for that. Yes. Lord, I would like to love to be here. You're my favorite.
Lord, that's why I wear my hat.
Because surely there's somebody else's conscious how valuable that time was as Mr. Evers.
Yeah, you know,
Just narrow them down to yes, ma'am.
All right, Ken, I'm gonna go get the car. I'll pick him up.
That's what they call me, back home, honest.
We'll take a break and probably most of the time we do 3 teams. Thank you so much, Bob. Welcome back, and welcome back to all you folks here in the theater as well. I always enjoy having these nice folks from down up around let's see, let me think if I can get this right now. You're from up in the upper part of Virginia, maybe around Stanton? Close to it?
Close.
Just north of Stanton, so you have had a long drive. Okay, we always love to hear these folks, though. Please help me make a welcome to the stage for part 2 of today's program, Phyllis and Jim Gaskins and the Highlander String Band.
Dixie and Slate Mountain Ramblers. We've known those folks for 40 years, and it's just awesome. I can sit and listen to them for hours and hours. We're going to go to a G tune, and it's called Walking That Pretty Girl Home, and we learned this from the playing of Luther Davis many, many years ago.
We'll save you a spot.
Here we go.
Try not to make it a habit, all right?
And we'll be back with more music from the Highlander String Band on today's Saturday morning merry-go-round, right after this.
You ready for that again?
We are musicians and we understand what musicians are looking for. So we've got a great selection of acoustic and electric guitars, fiddles, banjos, mandolins, dulcimers,
Until 12:30, whenever I get tails for y'all. I'll be watching the lunch. Okay, I'm doing. So I'm just saying, let's
we install and sell and service.
We can handle that, I think.
We also offer music lessons for all ages. Give us a call at 336-786-8742. Find out more online about our business at oldmiddlemusic.com.
Thank you so much, Bob. That's right. We're open today until 4 o'clock, and then heading over to the Mandolin Fest, Spencer Strickland's Mandolin Fest. It'll be taking place at the Patrick County Music Association over there at Rotary Field in Stewart, Virginia. But we will be open oatmeal music until 4 o'clock today here in downtown Mount Airy. Let's see, I told Rick before I left to put all the Halloween books on sale for 50% off, and I don't know what else, but if you need any musical supplies, we'll be open today until 4 o'clock. Right now, let's see, back to more music with our friends the Highlander String Band up until 12:30. We'll break away for another quick look at the weather.
Okay, we're going to get into singing Unharley Day now.
Oh, they tell me I'm home party on tonight. They tell me I'm home party. Oh, they tell me I'm home when the storms fly by. Oh, they tell me I'm an unparty day.
dulcimer was named Raymond Melton, and Raymond made this dulcimer for me in 1980, and I learned that tune from Raymond. Here's one that comes from the playing of Kyle Creed, and he called it Roscoe because he learned it from Roscoe Russell. Roscoe Russell was a Gaelic-style dulcimer player, like the one that I have, from up in Gaelics. And so this tune is called Roscoe.
Yeah, if I could say a word about that. This tune was introduced to me by a couple of dear friends, Melvin and Dee Phelps, and unfortunately we lost Melvin this past summer, but I'd like to send this out to Dee if she's listening today. And it was with them, I think, that we actually first started playing WPAQ Saturday morning merry-go round. And I think it was about 1983, if I remember right.
Over at the radio station.
It was the radio station.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Roscoe.
Roscoe. Some A modal tunes. One is called Shady Grove, and the other one is called Shady Grove. Yeah, how about that? The first one is a song, and the second one after that we got from Luther Davis. Jim and I visited Luther in the 80s, early 80s, late 1970s, I think, and he lived in Gaelics. He was 92 when we met him, and his version of Shady Grove was quite a bit different from the song version that most people are singing of Shady Grove. So, did you do your thing?
No, we're doing A minor.
We're doing A minor first. Okay. This is not a medley now.
No, we have to stop.
No, we have to stop. Sorry. We got to do things in the right order. Sometimes, at least, we do things in the right order.
Shady Grove,
come here to marry Shady Grove, my little love. Shady Grove, I say, Shady Grove, my little love, I'm going I wish I had a big fine horse, corn and lawn, pretty little cow to stay at home and feed him when I'm gone. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say, Shady Grove, my little love, I'm going away. I wish I had a needle and thread, fine as I could sew. I'd sew my love to my skirt, down the road I go. Hey, Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, I say, Shady Grove, my little love, I'm going away. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove, my darling, Shady Grove, my little love, I'm going back to Harlem. Shady Grove. And now, Brent's gonna retune just a wee little bit. And we're gonna play the one that we learned from our dear friend, Luther Davis. Luther was 99 when he passed away. So he had a nice long life.
Born in 1887.
Born in 1887, and he was a sheriff, I think,
Definitely.
a deputy sheriff up in Galax for a while. Grayson County, riding his horse. Riding his horse. I got a picture of him sitting on a wagon load of tannin bark, and there's an ox pulling the wagon. And when we visited him, he said he remembered a cabin home when he was a child, and what they used for lights, what were called pine knots that they had gotten from the old pine trees, and they would stick them in between the logs on the cabin, and that would be their inside light. Sounds a little dangerous to me, but that's what he told us, and I believe him. Okay, you ready over there, Mr. Brent?
I am.
Okay, Shady Grove.
a quick weather break.
All right.
And we'll be back with more music from the Highlander String Band coming up all the way up until 1:30 this afternoon. You're listening to the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round on WPAQ.
Best for you, any string tricks you can remember? Best for you, for any string tricks you can remember? Are there any others?
Thank you so much, Bob. If you're just tuning in, the Highlander String Band, I forgot the exact town. Tell me the town again. Harrisburg? Harrisonburg. Harrisonburg.
We live in Bridgewater. Three of us live in Bridgewater.
Well, and I live in Port Republic, we're all
He
in the
lives in
suburbs.
Port.
Oh my goodness.
So it's really, yeah,
Port Republic?
port. It was a river port back when, back in the day. I just wanted to say one more thing about that last tune we played, that Shady Grove we learned from Luther. Luther was said, y'all really did a good job on that, but it had one guitar too many.
He didn't care for guitar playing.
No, he didn't like guitar players, so that would have been, so we apologize to you, Luther.
I dodged the bullet on that one.
Okay, so we're gonna try a little bit of Sail Away Ladies. Go Train on the Island, because his is a little bit different than everybody else's. So here we go with that one.
Can I say a word about that?
Sure.
This song was composed in 1856 by a famous composer named Benjamin Hanby. You may know him as a composer of Up on the Housetop and Jolly Old St. Nicholas. When he was 9 years old, a runaway slave showed up at their farm up in Ohio, and the slave was ailing and basically dying. Before he died, he told young Benjamin about his beloved sweetheart and what had happened to her down south on the plantation. And it made quite an impression, and when he became an adult, he wrote a song about it. And the slave's sweetheart was named Nellie Gray.
There's a low green valley on the old Kentucky shore where one happy hours away. I'm sitting and singing on that little cabin where lived my darling Nellie Gray. Oh, my darling Nellie Gray, they have taken me away, and I'll never see my darling Nellie more.
Miss Phyllis, let's do one song and then we'll take a break, and if that's all right with y'all.
That'll be just fine with us. How about a waltz? It's called the Westphalia Waltz. So, are you ready? Guess that's this one. Is that it?
Yeah, that's
Thank Thank you all so much.
Really enjoying this, and it's a little bit different. I do also enjoy hearing the stories behind the songs and some of the things that you never think about. And then when you said Up on the Housetop, I thought, well, I had remembered that composer, and I had never heard that before about Darling Nellie Gray. I actually made a note of it to tell my mom when I get home. But anyways, that's enough about me. Let's send things back to you, Bob King, and take a real quick break, and we'll be back with more music here on the Saturday Morning Merry-Go-Round right after this.
Citizens, my name is Marie Wood, and I am running for city commissioner in South Ward. It is time for
Yes, you too. Thank you.
financial
All right, Jerry, safe, be happy, do well.
We can achieve our common goals through compromise, professionalism, and kindness. Your vote is very important. Please vote for Marie Wood on November 5th. This message is paid for and approved by Friends to Elect Marie Wood.
Mr. Monitor, went on today to help volunteer fire department in Stokes County to have their annual chicken stew. And the Nunn brothers will be joining this day. Of course, they have chicken stew 3 days a year so they can come with their kids and the Christmas and Christmas dinner. Again, today, the volunteer fire department chicken stew sale.
Y'all, enjoy it. Say yes, Bob.
Thank you so much, Bob. We got about 8 minutes until we break away again for national news. So probably time for 2 more before we take another quick break. Right now, back to more music. Phyllis and Jim Gaskins and the Highlander String Band.
And we are so happy to be here. Brent Hall is playing guitar with us, and Jim Rowland is over there on the banjo, and we're very happy to be back here. We'll play a tune called Punching Floor. a song that made them desert during the Civil War. Oh, we're still on the air? Yeah. Oh, gosh, all right. Oh, okay. We'll do Ebenezer then.
String band here with us for the second portion of today's merry-go-round. Right now, we need to take a real quick break and catch up on national news headlines, and we'll be back with more music coming up right after this. You're listening to the voice of the Blue Ridge here in Mount Airy, North Carolina. This is AM 740 WPAQ.
And you get to tune your banjo.
In one part, I believe, you got 129. You don't really have to take one break. But we can do both. We can do it. Send it to
Will you let us know when we got it was pretty good. But Jim and I slept most of the day, but Brett did the bathroom.
It was pretty dry.
Thank you.
I looked out every now and then.
Had some fog, a little bit of fog here and there. 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Are you going to come over? They had lunch before y'all wanted breakfast there.
Breakfast there.
Shenandoah Valley.
In the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia.
That's why I kept trying to think.
You're gonna have to sing that sometime.
But I can't.
Learn that skill first. Let me know when you're ready. I'm good to go.
Thirty months, I mean, I had a high 58 on my
Good
leg.
food.
I told my lows also.
There you go. See, how come I can't remember all this?
Somewhere
I'm
down
just losing my brain.
much for the fall. But it goes for a while. And closed that period on Friday.
I was so traumatized by leaving my driver's license at home. I watched it from there. Seriously, I can't remember what song we played. Johnson Boys. Barely remember what we played.
Thank you so much, Bob. If you're just tuning in or just joining us, we're here from our friends from up in Virginia. You know, Virginia is only about 3 miles from where we are, but not in that part at all. And they started out about 7 o'clock this morning to get here to be with us for the Saturday morning merry-go-round. Phyllis and Jim Gaskins and the Highlander String Band. It's always a treat. And we just have one commercial obligation in this half hour, so play about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll break in with what I need to do after that. But right now, I'll turn things back over to the Highlander String Band.
And, okay, thank you so much, Jenny, and Brent's gonna lead us out with, or lead us forward, with Johnson Boys.
And Civil War.
Johnson boys went to the city, they didn't drink it long to see. Met up with this high boy lady, didn't come back to the break of day. Didn't come back to the break of day. Johnson boys, the boys of her, they knew how to go to me. They knew how to hug and kiss them. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Johnson boys, play your tune. Johnson boys, sing your song. Johnson boys, hug in the middle, hug in the middle, and you can't go wrong. Hug in the middle, and you can't go wrong. Hug in the middle, and you can't go wrong. Johnson boys, the boys of honor, and their sight was very long. Then they joined their country service in that old school. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Johnson boys, the boys of courage, they were known so far and wide. When the Yankees saw them come, they threw their guns down and they hide. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Hop up, pretty girls, don't be afraid. Johnson boys, they went hunting, took the dog and went astray. Tore their clothes, pressed their fingers, didn't come back to the break of day. Didn't come back to the break of day. Didn't come back to the break of day. Johnson boys get sassy. Johnson boys sing their thing. Hold their hair, wash their faces. Look pretty good for the shake their head.
Yes, they did.
Pretty good for the shake their head. Look pretty good for the shake their head.
Johnson Boys. All righty. And we're going to go right on into the Belle of Lexington. I don't remember where we learned this. Was this another Luther tune? Another old Galax tune. Luther Davis, Emmett Lundy, and Jim on the fiddle here.
Ready?
Yeah. puts it in my money down. I lay my money down. I lay my money down. Whenever I meet the deck of cards, lay my money down. I had not been in Washington many more weeks than three when a bird had come with pretty little cows fell in love with me. She took me in her parlor. She cooled me with her fan. She whispered away to mother's ear about that gambling man. I love that gambling man. I love that gambling man. She whispered away to mother's ear about that gambling man. Oh, mother, now can you grieve me, sir, and leave your dear old mother here and with that gambler go, and with that gambler go, with that gambler go, and leave your dear old mother here and with that gambler go. Well, mother, oh dear mother, you know I love you well, but the love I have for the gambling man, no human tongue can tell. No human tongue can tell. No human tongue can tell. Well, the love I have for the gambling man, no human tongue can tell. Well, I gambled over in Washington, gambled over in Spain. I'm going back to Georgia, boys, gonna knock down my last game. I'll gamble my last game. I'll gamble my last game. I'm going back to Georgia, boys, gonna gamble my last game. We're the gambler. And we're going to go from that right on into a tune called New Charleston No. 1. Comes from the playing of John Ashby, another Virginia fiddler. And some comes called
It's,
Avalon Quickstep. Avalon Quickstep.
it was first recorded by, I think, back in the late 20s, early 30s by a Mississippi duo called Norman and Smith. And so anyway, John Ashby got a hold of it and Appalachianized it. Please make up that word. So now it's a really good tune. It started out as a good tune, it's actually it's a great tune.
Haskins and the Highlander String Band. I do need to tell the folks about this. The sponsor for this portion of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round, Mayberry Music Center, located right across the street here from the Earl Theater, and locally owned and operated by James Easter of the Easter Brothers. James would like to invite you to stop in and check out their selection of acoustic and electric guitars. They've also got bass guitars, mandolins, fiddles, banjos, trumpets, saxophones, clarinets, flutes, and much, much more. Also, Mayberry Music Center specializes in Blue Ridge guitars, and they are the authorized Blue Ridge guitar dealer here in the Mount Airy area. Mayberry Music Center always gives a $100 discount off the suggested retail price of their Blue Ridge guitars, and you'll also find there some slightly used Blue Ridge guitars at a discounted price. They've got strings as well as all types of accessories for your instrument, and they offer music lessons and instrument repair. And James wants us to remind you that if you don't see what you're looking for, we'll just ask them, because chances are they can have it for you in just a couple of days. And you'll also find there a great selection of bluegrass as well as bluegrass gospel CDs, including titles from the Easter Brothers and the Primitive Quartet. Mayberry Music Center is open Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 4, and on Saturdays from 9:30 to 3. They're always closed on Sunday. That's Mayberry Music Center, historic Main Street in downtown Mount Airy, bringing you this portion of today's merry-go-round. And we're going to go back to the music now from the Highlander String Band. Phyllis, play us about 2 more tunes, and then we've got some community news that we need to read, and before we close out today's program.
All right, wonderful. We're going to do a Big Coyote, and we're going to call upon Brent to sing it. So here we go. Do you start it, or do we start it? Okay. Okay, we're going to do a set of tunes called Johnny Redmond, John Ryan, and Cheat River. And these are a mix of tunes. I asked Raymond how did he choose what tunes he wanted to play, and he said, if I like it, I'll learn how to play it. So that's kind of what we did. Johnny Redmond is a tune from, we got it from Two Gun, and then we got, this next one is from Ireland, and then the next one is from West Virginia. So, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Yep.
One final break and give Bob time to catch us up on some community news, and we'll be back with the conclusion of today's Saturday morning merry-go-round right after this.
And of course, holiday season is
Want to get it just about right one?
What do you think, guys?
I know.
Well, that's pretty good.
Well, I was hoping we could do, I wrote a walk called Wpaq, and then can we do Liberty as we can do it whatever we can.
On Monday, the Surrey American Red
Okay,
Cross
I think
Western
I'm
Drive.
Let's play once, twice.
Two and two and two. Lifting Fog and then Liberty and Swing. All right, we can do this.
Thank you so much, Bob King, and it's been a pleasure to have the Slate Mountain Ramblers on, and also to have Phyllis and Jim and the Highlander String Band. Let's give them another big round of applause. Always enjoyed having these folks on. Thank you so much. We got time for about 4 minutes worth of music, whatever you choose to do with that. And once again, it's been a pleasure. Look forward to having you guys on again real soon on the merry-go-round.
Thank you so much, Jenny, and we're real happy to be here. We're going to close out with a waltz that I wrote. It's called Lifting Fog. And then we're going to follow that with Liberty and Soldier's Joy. So, everybody, happy trails to you. All right, here we go.
Thank y'all again.
Thank you for hanging with us, Bud.
Yes, thanks, yeah.
I'm really glad you had that extra cup of coffee.